acknowledgement. On Monday, May 1st, 2023, we acknowledge that the shared land on which Smith Falls is now located has been the site of human activity for over 10,000 years and is rich in Indigenous history. This land is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe Nation. We are grateful to our Algonquin ancestors who cared for the land and water in order that we might meet here today. We are also grateful to the Algonquin people for their contribution in making the Rideau Canal, which runs through Smith Falls. We are mindful of broken covenants and the need to reconcile with all our relations. Together, may we care for this land and each other, drawn on strength of our mutual history of nation building through peace, friendship, and being mindful of generations to come. So I'll call this meeting to order. And we have regrets from Mayor Pankow, and as it happens, in May is my month to be acting mayor, and my name is Jay Brennan, councillor. So we'll begin our meeting now, and with mayor's announcements, I have several proclamations to read on behalf of the mayor. And so I'll begin with the first one, Red Dress Day, May 5th, 2023. Whereas the Red Dress Project was created by Jamie Black as a public art installation in response to missing and murdered Indigenous women. And whereas the Red Dress Project began in 2010 and commemorates missing and murdered Indigenous women from First Nations, Inuit, Métis, and Native American communities by hanging empty red dresses in a range of environments. And whereas the color red signifies the color that the spirits can see, the color red is calling back the spirits of those missing and allows them a chance to be among us and have their voices heard. And whereas May 5th is National Day of Awareness and honors Canada's missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit people. And whereas on Friday, May 5th at 5 p.m., a ceremony to honor Red Dress Day will occur at Perth's last dual park, Indigenous Healing Circle, and memorial to the MM1WG2S. And whereas the ceremony will highlight Flora Messier Riley, who lost her sister, Daphne Brown, to a violent death by her husband in Goose Bay, Labrador. And whereas anyone can participate by making the day and wear red, or by hanging a red dress in your window or yard, post it to social media, and by using the hashtags such as MMIVVG, MMIVVG2S, Why We Wear Red, or No More Stolen Sisters. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Jay Brennan, acting mayor of the town of Smith Falls, declare May 5th, 2023 as Red Dress Day in the town of Smith Falls, encourage all citizens to take a moment and reflect on the missing Indigenous women and girls and those who are no longer with us. And further, that all community members are invited to honor this day at the last dual parks Indigenous space at 35 Craig Street, Perth, Ontario. May 1st, 2023 is our date here. So that is the first proclamation. The second one we have tonight is Sexual Awareness Prevention Month for May 2023. Whereas the town of Smith Falls supports the rights of every citizen to live free from sexual violence. And whereas sexual violence affects all people regardless of geography, race, age, ethnicity, gender, religion, sexual orientation, gender identity, or economic background. And whereas sexual violence is a public health issue that causes significant trauma, impacts the physical, mental, and emotional and sexual health outcomes of people, communities, and societies. And whereas we have an obligation to do everything we can to raise awareness of sexual assault, support victims and survivors, and hold offenders accountable, in the spirit of Sexual Assault Prevention Month, let's continue building the conversation about sexual assault and protect the people of Smith Falls from this horrible crime. And whereas this month is dedicated to raising awareness of the impact that sexual violence is having on our community and to highlight the need for support and services to those affected by sexual assault. Now, Therefore, be it resolved that I, Jay Brennan, acting mayor of the town of Smith Falls, do hereby proclaim May 2023 as Sexual Assault Prevention Month in the town of Smith Falls and encourage our residents to stand firmly with survivors, advocates of the community and community agencies to stop sexual violence in all forms. And that a banner shall be hung in the Memorial Community Center to recognize Sexual Assault Prevention Month and show survivors of sexual assault that we as a community believe them and hear them and stand with them. And that's today, May 1st, 2023. The next one I have is Mental Health Week 2023. Whereas mental health is an essential part of everyone's health and well-being. Whereas Mental Health Week has been hosted by the Canadian Mental Health Association and in communities across Canada for over 70 years. And whereas all people in Canada need to promote and protect and nurture their mental health, and whereas promoting social connection is an important aspect of human life and an effective way to protect mental health. And whereas in the past 3 years of the pandemic, our community members may have or still may be experiencing further difficulties maintaining their mental health and social connections. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, Jay Brennan, acting mayor of the town of Smith Falls, hereby proclaims the week May 1st to May 7th, 2023 as Mental Health Week in the town of Smith Falls. I encourage all citizens to join me in underlining the importance of social connection for mental health. And that's today, May 1st, 2023. The next proclamation I have is Community Living Month. Whereas Community Living Ontario, founded in 1953 as a nonprofit leader providing a provincial voice for people who have intellectual disabilities, their families, friends, and support providers across Ontario. And whereas they proudly advocate on behalf of more than 80,000 people while championing the inclusion efforts of over 100 member organizations. And whereas May is Community Living Month, a province-wide annual awareness campaign to promote inclusion for people that have intellectual disability and their families. And whereas Toronto CN Tower will be helping promote Community Living Month by lighting up in blue and green as part of Community Living Ontario's Shine a Light on Community Living initiative. And whereas this year, the town of Smith Falls will shine a light, raise awareness, and celebrate with Community Living Ontario by illuminating our water tower. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that I, Jay Brennan, acting mayor of the town of Smith Falls, do hereby proclaim May as Community Living Month in the town of Smith Falls. And that's today, May 1st, 2023. Finally, I have one more proclamation for you. Drinking Water Week, May 7th to 13th, 2023. Whereas the town of Smith Falls recognizes that water is our most reliable natural resource, and whereas drinking water serves as a vital role in daily life, serving an essential purpose to health, hydration, and hygiene needs for the quality of life of our citizens to enjoy, and whereas tap water delivers public health protection, fire protection, support for our economy, and quality of life we enjoy, and whereas the hard work performed by the entire water sector, designing capital projects, operating ensuring safety and quality of drinking water, or a member of pipe crew maintaining infrastructure communities they rely on to transport high quality drinking water from its source to consumers' taps. And whereas the pandemic has shone a light on the importance of drinking water for health, and whereas we're all stewards of water infrastructure upon which current and future generations depend, and whereas the citizens of our town are called upon to help protect our source water from pollution, practice water conservation, and get involved in their water by familiarizing themselves with it. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Jay Brennan, acting mayor of the town of Smith Falls, do hereby proclaim May 7th to May 13th as Drinking Water Week in the town of Smith Falls, and that's today, May 1st. And I might add that and salute our staff that provide this vital service to us. And I'll add that they will be having a public barbecue to finalize the Drinking Water Week at the water treatment plant on Friday, May 12th to 2 p.m. So everyone's invited for a barbecue, and I hear there's going to be some celebrity barbecuers there. So everyone's welcome to come to that. Those are my proclamations tonight. And we'll continue on. We have no delegations. The adoption of minutes tonight is with Councillor Robinson.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Quinn that the minutes of the April 17th, 2023 regular council meeting be received and filed.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that the minutes of the April 17th, 2023 regular council meeting be received and filed. All in favor? Passed. So do we have some reports tonight? I think we do. Councillor Robinson?
I have one. I attended the Railway Museum board meeting this morning. They were saying that the electrical upgrades, which would cost around $7,000 for the dining car and the Airbnb, should be put on hold. This is due to a lack of capital, as summer student grants were not approved, and the museum will have to pay any student they hire out of the museum's pocket. There is a Trillium grant opening, I believe he said next week, which the museum will be applying for. It's a capital grant for up to $150,000, and if successful, will be used to get or help get a new roof on the station. Also, before new roofing can occur, they're going to have an engineer's inspection to ensure that the structure can hold the weight, because they're going to have to resheet the entire roof with plywood. There's 500 sheets required, and heavier gauge shingles. The Airbnb starts this weekend, and also starting this Sunday, they'll be having like shorter days of train rides, starting at 11 till 2:30 in the afternoon for 4 weeks to raise some extra money. And I believe it's 1 week from Saturday, there will be a sale of collectibles from the museum that are not relevant to their operation. And there will be other vendors there with their collections as well. And they've attracted buyers and from all over, but the furthest one is coming from Vancouver. They're flying in to attend this sale. So they must be really interested in train memorabilia. And finally, the Mother's Day afternoon tea in the dining car has sold out. So that's my report.
Thank you for that. Reports, I think I saw Councillor McGuire and then Councillor Quinn. Okay.
Thanks, Mr. Chair, or Councillor Brennan, or Acting Mayor. We had a police service board meeting last Tuesday at 8 a.m. The annual report was presented to the board, and the chief is committed to bringing that to committee of the whole to present to us. So I won't get into it in too much detail, but I believe that we'll be provided with a copy soon. So feel free to give it a read through and come up with any questions for when the chief visits committee of the whole. The Municipal Heritage Committee had the first meeting of the term last week as well on the Wednesday. Dorothy Hudson was re-elected as chair, and we went over the priorities for the term, which the Heritage Conservation District is still at the top of the list. Good news from the Heritage Symposium, there's going to be a subcommittee, and we're going to look to have another Heritage Symposium in the fall. So that'll be the first one since COVID. So and it's likely going to have a focus on Heritage Conservation Districts. Those are, thirdly, the accessibility committee is still looking for members. So if anybody knows of somebody who would be a good fit, or if you're watching this and you might be a good fit, please contact our clerk, Carrie Costello, and she can get you an application package.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Councillor Quinn.
Thank you, Your Worship. On April the 18th, we had a real meeting, and I can tell you that they are in the process of purchasing 25 trees to be planted at 5 different schools. They also have a couple of trees that will be planted in the new park area beside the town hall in downtown. They have May the 19th is Voyager Canoe, and that is actually the opening of the Rideau Canal. The store is in the process of being reorganized, and it's looking fabulous. If they're looking for donations, and they're also getting into the process of putting things that they have online so people can see and understand exactly what is in the store, which is wonderful. There's many treasures there to be found. And their AGM is June the 21st at 7 p.m. Just one other item that I had to report on was a thank you to the Salvation Army for a barbecue that they put on April the 23rd. And this was to thank volunteers. And it was wonderful. They fed us great food. It was a nice gathering and good to see all these people out. And we need to thank them for the work that they do and how they appreciate their volunteers. Those are my reports. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McKenna.
Thank you, Acting Mayor. I just want to supplement Councillor Quinn's report. The pitch in Smith Falls took place along the waterfront last Saturday. This Saturday just went by. In the driving rain, I watched those men and women, young and old, out picking up garbage. And it's shocking to me how much garbage. I'm sure people come from out of town to throw garbage here because I just can't believe our residents would throw it in the water. Speaking of our water, and they picked up tons of garbage all over along the waterfront, and they did it through that driving rain. So I just want to thank them. They're a wonderful group.
Thank you, Peter.
Anybody else? No, I'll just report on the Heritage House. I had a meeting last week with the Heritage House Advisory Committee, and it was really great to see some new members on that committee. And we were presented with a draft strategic plan at that time, and we're going to be meeting again this week to provide comments, and that strategic plan will be coming to us as a council in the very near future. So things are moving forward there. There's lots going on there. I'm not going to report on it all. I'll just say this publicly that the grounds look great. They're always looking for people with a green thumb to come and help with gardening and that sort of thing. So anybody that feels a notion to do that are welcome to contact them. It's 283-6311. And I look forward to the Heritage House presentation coming up very soon with the strat plan and going forward. So it was a good meeting. So we'll continue on, and we're into bylaws now. And the first bylaw is with Councillor Robinson.
Thank you, Acting Mayor Brennan. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Quinn that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at its meetings on the 3rd and 17th days of April 2023 be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. It's moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council at its meetings on the 3rd and 17th day of April 2023 be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? Any comments, Councillor Robinson?
Yeah, this is just a procedural matter to keep our meetings transparent and our minutes published.
Thank you for that. It's moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of the council at its meetings on the 3rd and 17th day of April 2023 be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 104-43-2023. All in favor? That is passed. Our next bylaw is with Councillor Quinn.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to authorize the execution with the Village of Merrickville, Wolford for the provision of animal control services be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. That is moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Robinson, that a bylaw to authorize execution with the Village of Merrickville, Wolford for the provision of animal control services be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? In comments, Councillor Quinn?
Yes, this is something I'm very pleased to see us working with another municipality. And this is a one-year pilot project with Marrickville Wolford for animal control services. They don't have anyone within their municipality that is able to do that. So we're giving this a one-year try and see how it goes. And to me, that's just great. Here we are working with another municipality. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Moved by Councillor Quinn and seconded by Councillor Robinson that a bylaw to authorize execution with Village of Marrickville Wolford for the provision of animal control services be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10444/2023. All in favor? That is passed. Our next bylaw is with Councillor Miller.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Quinn that bylaw to authorize an exception to bylaw 8583-2103, being a bylaw to regulate outdoor patios, be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor Miller, seconded by Councillor Quinn that a bylaw, excuse me, to authorize the exception to bylaw 8583-2013 being a bylaw to regulate outdoor patios be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? And Councillor Miller, comments?
Yeah, thank you. So our restaurant industry is still rebounding from the impacts of COVID. So this bylaw ensures we can extend our support for another year. And the support includes waiving patio fees for 2023. So it's a small gesture, but hopefully it helps our restaurants a little bit more.
Thank you for that. Moved by Councillor Miller, seconded by Councillor Quinn that a bylaw to authorize an exception to bylaw 8583-2013 being a bylaw to regulate outdoor patios be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 10445/2023. All in favor? That is passed. Our next bylaw is with Councillor McKenna.
Thank you. It's moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Miller that a bylaw to authorize an exception to bylaw 6018-94, being a bylaw to prohibit or regulate the erection of signs, advertising devices, posting of notices, portable signs, and merchandise displays within the town of Smith Falls be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time.
Thank you for that. It's moved by Councillor McKenna, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to authorize an exception to bylaw 6018-94, being a bylaw to prohibit or regulate erection of signs, advertising devices, posting of notices, portable signs, and merchandise displays within the town of Smith Falls be received and read a first time and taken as read a second time. All in favor? And over to you, Councillor McKenna, for any comments.
Yes, those who watch council know that the council discussed this proposed bylaw last week, and we directed staff to go back out to asking them to do some more consultation on that larger bylaw. However, there is an exception that we want pulled out of that and we want to proceed with it, and that is around the display of merchandise, so that while that full bylaw is being consulted on, council would like to go ahead and give the green light to merchants to display their merchandise outside of their stores, etc. And with that, it's been noted that the fee that goes along with displaying the merchandise will be waived. So there's more to come on the full bylaw. So this is an exception to that.
Thank you for that. Moved by Councillor McKenna, seconded by Councillor Miller, that a bylaw to authorize an exception to bylaw 6018-94, being a bylaw to prohibit and regulate erection of signs, advertising devices, posting of notices, portable signs, and merchandise displays within the town of Smith Falls be now read a third time and finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 104-46-2023. All in favor? And that is passed. So we have a couple motions to do tonight, and the first one is with Councillor Miller.
Thank you. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Quinn. Whereas the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smiths Falls recognizes the issues of violence in rural communities as serious to the health and wellness of local families. And whereas it is recognized that Lanark County Council declared an intimate partner violence as an epidemic on December 14th, 2022, as per the #1 recommendation of the Renfrew County Coroner's Jury recommendations. And whereas in 2022, the Smiths Falls Police Service recorded 170 intimate partner violence calls for service compared to 120 in 2021. That's a 41% increase. And whereas the Smiths Falls Police Service also recorded an additional 45 incidents of bail violations related to intimate partner violence in 2022. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smiths Falls hereby declare intimate partner violence an epidemic within our community. And further, that this resolution be circulated to our local MP and MPP, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, and the Ministry of the Attorney General, the Ministry of Women's Social and Economic Opportunity, and the Federal Ministry of Women and Gender Equality.
For that, and any comments, Councillor Miller?
Yes, thank you. So we really appreciated the update from Lanark County Integral House ED Aaron Lee last week. And this resolution will underline the critical nature of escalating violence against women. It's also the #1 recommendation from the Renfrew County Coroner's Jury recommendations.
Thank you. Any other comments from colleagues? It's moved by Councillor Miller, seconded by Councillor Quinn. Whereas the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smiths Falls recognizes the issues of violence in rural communities as serious to the health and wellness of local families. And whereas it is recognized that Lanark County Council declared intimate partner violence as an epidemic on December 14th, 2022, and as per #1 recommendation of the Renfrew County Coroner's Jury recommendations. And whereas in 2022, the Smiths Falls Police Service recorded 170 intimate partner violence calls for service compared to 120 in 2021, a 41% increase. And whereas the Smiths Falls Police Service also recorded an additional 45 incidents of bail violations related to intimate partner violence in 2022. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Council of the Corporation of the Town of Smiths Falls hereby declares intimate partner violence as an epidemic within our community. And further, that this resolution be circulated to our local MP and MPP and Association of Municipalities of Ontario and the Ministry of Attorney General, Ministry of Women's Social and Economic Opportunity, and the Federal Ministry of Women and Gender Equality. All in favor of this motion? And that is passed. Our final motion is with Councillor Maguire.
Thank you. So moved by myself and seconded by Councillor McKenna that Councillor Don Quinn be appointed to the Friends of the Cataract Way Trail Board of Directors for the remainder of this term of council.
Thank you. And discussion?
Yeah, I'm not sure how we missed this one with the previous rounds of committee appointments, but thank you to Councillor Quinn for representing Smiths Falls on the board, and especially with all the development around there. I think this will be an important position for the next couple of years.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. It's moved by Councillor Maguire and seconded by Councillor Miller that Councillor Don Quinn be appointed to the Friends of Cataract Way Trail Board of Directors for the remainder of this term of council. All in favor? Thank you, and thank you to Councillor Quinn.
No problem.
So we're at the point now where I have inquiries and announcements. I think we have a couple, and I think Councillor Miller will go first.
Thank you. So passing on an announcement from our Arts Council, which was shared with them. The grand opening and open house for the Artisan Village on the Falls will take place May 17th from 4 to 6 p.m. And they will feature innovative retail art studios. This is located at 10 Maple Street. And they also have a great website I was on earlier. It's www.artisanvillagesmithsfalls.com.
Thank you. And finally, I think we have our trivia question this evening, which is going to be posed by Councillor Quinn.
Thank you very much. I have a question for people. We had a street in the town of Smith Falls, a very important street, and it was called Sand Road. Does anyone know where Sand Road was?
Someone's hand went up very quickly.
Yeah, I lived on Queen Street. It was Queen.
And that was Sand Road before it became Queen Street. And Peter, I really did expect you to pick up on that right away because yes, you did live on Sand Road, and I lived just off of Sand Road on Churchill Crescent.
Well, it wasn't called Sand Road when I lived there. It was still
No,
Queen Street
that was quite a while ago. Yes.
before my time.
That's a good one.
It's still fun to think about these streets or the history of our town and how it grew, and it's so interesting. It really is. Thank you.
That's great. On behalf of the mayor, I'll ask for a volunteer for 2 weeks from now. Seeing none, that would be Councillor Robinson.
I'll see if I can come up with something.
You just saved me. So thank you, colleagues, for putting up with me tonight. And we have an adjournment motion with Councillor McGuire.
So moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Quinn that this council adjourn its proceedings at 5:31 PM and stand so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council.
Thank you. Moved by Councillor McGuire, seconded by Councillor Quinn, that this council adjourn its proceedings at 5:31, stand so adjourned until the next duly called meeting of council. All in favor? Good evening.
We may
Good night,
keep you.
everyone.
That was fast. Very good. Thank you.
Good
Good
job,
evening.
Jared.